and man.
Mm-hmm.
It actually refers to two different species or subcategories of human beings. Well, man-like beings, rather. Human is actually the interbreeding between man and primates. I'm Homo erectus. So I'm not human, I'm actually man. Homo erectus. There's actually 3 Homo erectus men that I see right here. Bingo, bingo, bingo. So, as you can tell, what's your name with the beard? Big beard.
Rob.
His name is Rob. He is my colleague under the Wicked Wolf record label, and he is currently joining in a session. We also have Melissa Anderson, a influential, magnificent lady in the pagan community. Myself, the Lone Wolf, and we have our seer present.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I've got another chat going on here too in ICQ. I'm sorry. I keep getting shit mixed up. Hold on. I'm recording some shit for ICQ, or not ICQ. It's the my platforms are all screwed up right now. I'm recording something too, and I've got a one too. I love that drape on her wall right there. What's her
Oh,
name
it's
again?
beautiful. It's beautiful and it's beautiful.
What can we do for you today?
She's very knowledgeable within Egyptology path. Very, very knowledgeable. Probably involved a little bit deeper than we can even fathom.
So you're into Egyptology then, right? Yes, you could say
times.
I'm made in the archetype of both. Therefore, the higher the holy, the holies. Hermes, thrice great, Mercury, the messenger. It's what I made in the
The
archetype.
messenger, huh?
My name actually means anointed messenger sent by God. Stephen Nathaniel. Lafferty. So up the magazine. Believe it or not. I am the messenger.
I'm just here.
Well, I'm actually a really good messenger because I love doing what I do because it makes a difference in people's lives.
So what's the message for today?
The message for today.
What is the message?
The message for today?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what the question is.
Ooh.
There's
What was the
plenty of
initial
messages.
question that we had on the group?
It was time travel. Let me ask you something. You think time travel is possible?
Yeah, no, that's accurate.
Do you, Harold? Do you think time travel is possible?
You're the hookah guy, iridescent one, doesn't have a price on it.
And what would it take for time travel to be
You guys
possible?
have a nice night.
I personally think that there is something that can time travel, and that's God. But not every aspect of God can time travel. I think
He's our
energy,
little idiot now.
I think the electricity can time travel because I think
I better have that on my payroll.
and if you're a cyclic energy that keeps erupting and programming, then you essentially can time travel. Definitely forward. Programming. That's what creates the spooky action at a distance. He's got customers.
Yay. Customers are good.
Customers are very good. So Egyptology. I took hieroglyphs when I was in college.
Me too.
It was okay, but the only problem with hieroglyphs is that it becomes, and this is how God communicates with us. It's based on symbolism versus the observer's knowledge base.
Okay.
Isn't that the way the world works?
That's not how
It
it
sure
should
is.
work. Though. That's what
It is all based on perception. Truth is so subjective.
Yes. Beauty
All
in the eye.
based on perception.
Yes.
And perception is based upon what path of life you've taken and the experiences you've had in it. So
Let me ask you this: if you had one thing that you could do over, what would it be?
nothing.
Really?
Yep.
There's one thing I would have done differently.
Because out of each thing that you do, you learn something. Maybe I wouldn't
Life
have
lesson.
known that if I did not do it. So why should we live in regret? If we live in the past, we have no future. We have to move forward
Right.
and use those experiences that we've had to grow. Even at my old age, I'm still growing. Always will.
And how many versions of yourself have you ran into?
Hooey!
So
How many did I
egos.
want to kill and would have ended up in prison?
So Prometheus, what you're talking about is the ego of a self, the ego of self. How many different faces do we wear along our life? In our lives, how many different faces do we wear?
And
Oh,
she
my
would understand what I mean when I say this. The synchronicities of that lifeline that you've lived. The same likeness, the
Melissa.
same region, the same interest.
Yes. Oh, I understand what you're saying. I definitely do.
Most people wouldn't.
And I am whole in that part of my existence.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome.
Someone
God bless
actually wrote about the shadow, and I had to tell them, I don't fucking work with shadows. I am the shadow.
I am the shadow and I am the light. I'm the
I am
destruction.
the shadow.
I am all.
Yeah.
You know, this is
Some
what
of the New Age stuff kind of bores me to tears when they really start talking about it, because they want to put all this rainbow and light into everything, and you can't have the rainbow and light without the other side. So,
Right.
they need to acknowledge
heal,
that
you also
portion of
need-
life too.
Right. To heal,
Oh,
you
yeah.
also need to know how to scorch. You got to know how to scorch to heal, and scorch to heal, heal to scorch. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Polarity, I
Yes,
like that.
burn.
Yes. Right.
You can be reborn in this world.
You need littler scissors? There's some right there.
It's in the crayon box. Sorry.
I couldn't find them to trim a beard the other night, but
So you like peacocks?
not really. Hera
I'm
likes peacocks.
You never like peacocks?
I'm more of a
I did.
chameleon.
I did as a
Oh.
child. I used to see in Florida.
I
a lot.
had to guess on that. So you're more of a chameleon. I'm more of a dragon, bearded dragon then. So I guess you've met your serpent.
I don't know. I could be my
Okay,
own
this is-
serpent.
I think this is good momentum, and I think this is extraordinary. I think it really is. It's a blessing to have you two here. I think I would love to entertain perhaps Prometheus giving Melissa Anderson a tarot card reading if she approves to that. I would love to see it.
Oh, this is going to
He
be
you
wants
approve
to
that?
turn some cards up tonight.
Prometheus, if you could read her a spread, that would be magnificent.
I have to add salt and pepper to the soup.
I'm a hard
Now, let me
sell.
introduce myself real quick before you decide. My name is Stephen Nathaniel Lafferty. Like I said, it means anointed messenger sent by El Shaddai of the Magdalene clan. My family is of the Melanesian descent. Melanesian, it's kind of like Portuguese. We're Turkish, but we're of the mountains of Kentucky. It's primarily where we can be found. And
You are. But guess
Yep.
what? I'm in Kentucky
It's
right
fun.
now.
Me too. Louisville, Kentucky. I'm from
You're in
Virginia.
Louisville. I'm on the other side of the state.
Where you at?
I'm near Ashland, Moorhead.
I'm from Virgie, Pikeville.
Okay.
See,
Let
what's
me find
funny
out
is
you're kicking it with Melissa Anderson.
what's funny is I know everything about you just from that alone. And most people don't understand.
My Egyptology courses were in Crete.
So you have an elongated skull, prominent eyebrow structure, high cheekbones,
Oh my gosh.
mild case of overbite, TMJ,
No, I ain't got no teeth, so I ain't got no overbite.
Well, you used to, damn it. You selling me short. Speaking of, you're taller than most women.
Yep.
You also walk mildly pigeon-toed with your toes pointing out. You have a
Yeah.
distinctive walk. You also have
Oh,
neuropathy in your hands.
yeah. I don't know if it's distinctive or not.
You also have neuropathy in your hands.
Do I have what?
Neuropathy.
Probably I'm a diabetic. Yeah.
And you also have sleep terrors and night terrors and sleep paralysis.
No.
You used to.
No. I don't remember them if I do.
Oh, wow. You must be a very, very sweet woman then.
No. I'm actually a pretty
How's the migraines?
mean person sometimes.
How's your migraines working out?
I don't have them anymore. I got pills for that.
Nice. Lower tabs or Percocets?
Oh, Tramadol. Something lower.
Zinga. Good. Okay, so check this out.
You can always eat these gummies. That helps you with sleep and all kinds of things. And I have a
That's
friend in
neat.
California that sends them to me all the time.
Very good. I love those things. I can't anymore, but I used to.
Well, I don't get the 10s. The 10s ain't shit, but I get those 20s. And strawberry or cherry. They're good.
Very nice. So, let me ask you this.
Okay?
What deck would you prefer me to use? I haven't even started yet. I have a Animal Spirit. I have the Hermetic deck. I have a Rider-Waite. I also have a Authentic
Who did the Hermetic deck?
Me. Hermes.
Oh, cool. You actually created your own Hermetic deck?
Technically, no.
Oh.
The
And people
Hermetic
from Louisville, they never talk straight.
it's Rosicrucian,
Okay.
and I also have the Thoth deck, the Aleister Crowley Thoth.
I started reading Arthur White, and that's what I've stuck with for 40 years.
Yeah.
Golden Dawn participant, correct? Wasn't he a Golden Dawn participant?
At one time, yeah. I have a few degrees
Right.
under my belt there.
Yeah, I love the Golden Dawn tradition.
I know a few people out in Vegas with the Golden Dawn.
Nice. Yeah.
I drove a few of them.
Many nights with Israel Lagarde's books. Many nights with them.
But see, the problem is these days, the Golden Dawn is so fractured. Most of the organizations that started out are just so fractured. And it's a shame.
Right.
It really is. But it's reality.
Well,
It's time for us to actually pass the torch to other people. That's what's happening these days.
tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and give you. You know, there's a spirit that, and I'll tell you flat out because I really like you. You know, you're of my kind, and they say that we come from reptiles. That may or may not be true. But the sons of God, daughters of man, that rings a few bells, doesn't it?
Are we talking the Nephilim?
We're talking about our ancestors.
Of course we are. Because they are our ancestors.
Mr. Harold here, he still doesn't know how to think about that, and he still calls me bullshit on that one.
Well, the thing about it is if science is right, and we all come from this place called the Fertile Crescent, the evolutionary process, it had to start somewhere.
Hmm?
Whether we crawled out as the amoeba and our single cells split, so be it. Still, what was the catalyst for that migration and evolution? It had to come from some power or some. It's not by chance. It can't be by chance. It's
It came
impossible.
from the Doppler effect from a distant star, the center star of Orion's belt.
I would probably never dispute that because I'm not wise enough to know this stuff yet. And my mind is open enough without letting what brains I've got fall out. Let's just put it that way. Until someone comes up with evidence to show one way or another, my mind is going to stay open. There's just no other way.
So would you like the Thoth deck, the Hermetic deck?
Either deck you feel comfortable with.
I tell you what, since you got gypsy blood in you, we're going to use this new gypsy deck. This is the
Actually,
very
I don't have gypsy blood in me. My DNA was just done.
Well, guess what? If you're Homo erectus like I am, you do.
Well, and that goes back to the evolution or the migration from Egypt to that particular part. I have been linked to Astropact.
Yeah, well, I hate to talk about it like this, but God's chosen people. We were cast out into the land. Now, if you notice, all the men become vagabonds. The women become the homesteaders.
Mm-hmm.
The women of our race is more masculine than the men. We're more spiritual than the other species.
To a degree.
But the men are the gypsies. So technically you do, if your dad was a Homo erectus. But your dad was a really good man. You know, he let substances get a hold of him. He was a great man.
Not true.
I didn't say that it owned it. You know, it's a hero's journey. You come from a long line. I'll tell you what your lineage actually says. Northern Ireland, Eastern European, Scot-Irish, with a little bit of Germanic, Portuguese, and Native American.
The Native American, even though I do have that Cherokee card, did not own the DNA at all.
Nope, the Native American isn't what people think it is.
Well, actually, I think it's a little bit different because most of the DNA of the Cherokee tribe has been traced to the Middle East.
Is what?
Has been traced to the Middle East.
Exactly, it's Melungeon.
So it actually circles around in the migration path.
Did you know that Melungeon is where the Arabic word jinn comes from?
I'm not sure if I know that. Because the jinn is Arabic, but it actually goes back to Jinai, Old Mesopotamia.
Genie. The furthest back that it goes is the cursed soul, which is a Turkish phrase, Melungeon, but it's just an excerpt of that one phrase, which means the cursed soul.
I'll look into that.
Yeah, actually, I'll have Harold text you. If you research Melungeon, the cursed soul, that's actually where it comes from. You know, there's a lot of documentation being dug up over and over and over and researched over and over.
Oh, yeah.
On our race, because people are just really dumbfounded about our kind. And it seems like nobody really wants to admit. It's like as soon as they pinpoint where we're from, it disappears. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and give you Animal Spirit. Really. I feel like that one's probably one that will reach you a little bit better. So, situation with your boyfriend?
No.
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 Mike?
Don't know who that would be.
I'm seeing this dude named Mike, maybe an attorney or like maybe a boyfriend or maybe like a counterpart or a friend. No? I never said I was psychic. Sometimes it's good to be a tad bit wrong. Ooh, I got food coming. So currently it looks like you're not really in the cocoon like you thought you'd be.
I'm not sure what that means. I'm not in a cocoon like I thought I'd be. Sweetie, I haven't been in a cocoon for a very long time.
You're not being protected like you thought you would be.
Oh, I'm very protective. Yeah, I'm extremely protective.
That's cool. That's interesting.
Mark my words.
I know we'll hear nothing of the sort or nothing about it, but it's nice to hear it.
What's empowering
Four of
you?
Cups.
You have a brother that makes a drink. So what's your disposal? It's not quite Judgment Day like was thought.
I'm
So
not sure of that card.
Judgment Day, it's from darkness to light or light to dark. What are you doing? Oh, there's a chair. Look. So at your disposal is your portal.
Oh, cool. When can I go through it? I've been saying, Scotty, beam me up. There's no intelligent life here for a long time.
Well, being a portal and having a portal is two different things. In your past, there was three's a crowd, right? There was somebody intruding on your personal relationship.
Oh, nobody intrudes on my personal life. Trust me on that one. You can ask this boy sitting over here. He'll tell you, nobody dare intrude on my personal life.
Well,
Future.
it's actually quite a mystery.
What kind of mystery, Harold?
Well, just it's undiscovered. Like I've seldom heard rhetoric from any conversation on your personal life. So, and with that being said, it's shrouded in mystery.
I live pretty queen.
Yeah, the energy around you is of abundance, though.
I live pretty clean. I only have to come out of my little, as he calls the cocoon, if I need to. If something threatens my tribe.
Like that.
Right.
It looks like the Erebus.
When you say Erebus, you speaking of Ouroboros, the snake chasing its
The
tail?
snake who swallows its tongue, yeah.
Did you know that you overlook
And what's
quite a
the-
bit?
I do
And what is
overlook
it- what's
quite a
the-
bit.
Things that should be slapping you right in the face. You know, you
Yeah.
should be, you are way too good of a person to be putting up with what you put up with.
Oh, no. See, the key element in that is if you want to put up with something, if you know the outcome already and you do it, then the problem is not you, it's on them.
Your message from God is the answer.
Not sure of that card either.
The Fool.
Okay, real quick, for informational purpose, with us we have Melissa Anderson, who is an iconic pagan elder in the pagan community, and we are honored to have her. Just had to put that in there. Informational
Absolutely.
purposes for a video archive, actually. It's an honor to have her on our first broadcast premiere. This is
Yeah, it
excellent.
is your first podcast. Are you going to do many more of these?
Yes, ma'am. We're going to do many more of these. And I think
No,
if our
hold on a second. I'm pushing this bastard down here. That was me tapping into something, you know, just to see where you're at with spiritual type deal. Real quick, I'm gonna hook this bastard right here. Son of a biscuit. Sorry, guys. I shouldn't be cussing like that. Okay. Let me fix this guy. I got to get a different understand. That's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to kick my own program by the time this is all said and done.
You just lost our Stephen.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, Stephen.
We're just stuff.
Sorry, I'm trying to fix this. I want to read her since she is of the
These
essence.
kind of first shows are always about technical. That's why I sent you that little message and said technical difficulties.
First one. It's
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
In the past, I tried to do one. In the past, I tried to do one for alcohol awareness in the pagan community, and I just couldn't get the technology right. And then, like, after I couldn't get the technology right, I was like, wait a minute. It's not about alcohol awareness in the pagan community. It's about alcohol awareness in everybody's community. And then I just kind of like
It is.
learned something just from that, because it's, but, definitely an advocate for the recovering addict in the pagan community. Definitely an advocate for the pagan prisoner in the pagan community, because that is the path that I had tread so far. And as I meet different people amongst my path, I like to commune with them. And this particular gentleman is one of the few that has had me in thoughts where I was dumbfounded enough to be thinking. Usually when I have conversations with others, occultic conversations, regardless of magical tradition, I outwit them 100-fold. One of the few that this does not happen with is Melissa Anderson. And also gentleman Prometheus here. So it's definitely an honest. And so as our first show, to have somebody to talk analytically about the occult and magic and clairvoyance and intuitiveness and different forms of divinity and metaphysics, it would be a challenge to my colleague here, because we're talking to a heavy hitter within the pagan community. So this will definitely weigh upon our weight as a community broadcast within the circles that I'm involved in.
I'm going to go ahead and throw it all out there, okay? Hey, sweetheart, go ahead and pull a card out. This is going to be a nice one. You'll like this. Let's see here. Okay. This is going to be your past archetype. Can you read it out loud? Dilettante. Okay, so delights in the arts without having to be a professional, alerts you to danger, becoming superficial in pursuits. Pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. So dilettante, or dilettante, yeah. That means that you would dabble in all different forms of artwork, but to be a master of none, right? Your current archetype is magical child. To be a child of a super deity. Yes, you. And also a queen of your people. You come from a sacred bloodline. You know that now. Pull one more. This is your future archetype.
Well, I need that future.
Hedonist. And then pull two more. Because this is going to be what you desire to be.
Hey, Dean,
Desire to be?
over here.
Bully. That's a good one. And this is what you will actually be. Oh, beggar. That wasn't me. That was God. That was the tetragrammaton that works through consciousness. But it's because you have adapted fully to your nature.
Usually there's about 40 different things going across the screen.
Oh, I'd say there is.
Yeah, tomorrow down in Australia.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Of the light. You know, if I said that you were in the essence of Lilith and I was in the essence of Lucifer, you'd know I wasn't lying too, wouldn't you?
Archetypal?
I am the light of this world, the salt of the earth. You are Lilith. You put no man above you. You become the wise one of the world.
I think I would probably be more of the grain of sand.
Why would you be a grain of sand?
Yeah. Rolling with the tide.
That's not our
Okay, to
place.
bank on what Miss Anderson just said about being a grain of sand. I mean, isn't that exactly what we are? We're just dirt.
I
Just
believe that.
stardust.
I believe
We're only stardust. We're dirt.
it. Right.
Actually, our kind was made from the spiritual flame, the smokeless flame.
Well, according to the
actually an
Comedics,
art-
that's true.
What was that?
Kinetics.
According to Comedicism, that's definitely true.
Now, I'll go ahead and give you crossroads because X marks the spot. You are at a crossroads. So currently, you are removing your narcissistic ways. You have been doing a lot of self-reflection. I don't mean to be rude and call you out on it, but you've been self-reflecting and addressing your personal issues. It's very admirable.
Not sure. I've never really been a narcissist.
Well, it's a human complex. Everybody is to an
I
extent.
heard they're poison. That's what I heard.
My
I heard the
extent has been
narcissist-
very.
Say,
40 years ago, someone looked at me and told me, you can stand on the pedestal, you can be in the spotlight, but you can also wear a target on your back. If you live in the shadows, no sniper can hit you because their eyesight's not that great when it comes to the shadows. I've stayed in the shadows.
Right. Yep.
I can see that. I like that.
So
looks
she
like,
does. She definitely stays in the shadows.
Definitely an imbalance.
I do.
I know you do.
I don't need the spotlight. So my narcissism is very well curbed.
And narcissism, that's not really what that, let me reiterate. Some people have a misunderstanding about it because it's so loosely used. Narcissism would be saying that that they were always in the right or never incorrect, or saying that there's no need to self.
Probably not me. I'm wrong a lot.
Well, that, you might be wrong right there just by saying that.
Could be.
It's by saying, oh, well, maybe I should self-reflect.
Maybe my narcissism is in knowing me. I know me, and that's all that's important to me. So maybe that's the form of narcissism. If you know yourself, then nothing else really matters.
Well, I don't know.
Right. And then I've read that a lot in occultic. One sec. I've read that a lot in occultic principle where they tell you that to know yourself, if you know yourself, then you're more able and susceptible to create your own reality because you know yourself.
Yeah.
And my star death is based on astrological principles of Sun and Aries and things like that. So I'm very high-tempered and angry at different spots, and it just definitely consumes me. It's fiery, and I know I'm talking about myself, which is typical for Aries. But yeah.
But you've calmed down a great deal, Harold. You've done well for yourself. You have really self-reflected.
Yes, I've been trying, and Melissa, Miss Anderson, excuse me, is one of those rare people has actually seen me through the years, kind of go through changes, and which is terrific, and she's actually helped me out in different aspects more than she'll ever know, and more than probably anybody will ever know. But it's just like, so I definitely have homage, but yeah. Having an intellectual conversation with Melissa Anderson you're dealing with a heavy hitter, and I'm not trying to boost her ego. But I definitely think. But I do know
Sweetheart,
that
if you keep
my
mixing
call.
in medicines, listen, if you're going to keep mixing medicines, there is death in the future.
Who that one?
There's death in the future.
Tramadol is not something you can mix with any other pharmacy prescribed medication, including your sleep aids.
Oh, I don't use sleep aids. And I basically take a Tramadol once every 3 months when I have a headache that I can't get rid of. I'm a non-medicine person. I don't like medicines. And I take a shitload of them, but I don't like them.
Huh.
but they're all for like heart, COPD, diabetes. Yeah, I don't do too many heavy drugs.
Well, I'm seeing something about you mixing drugs.
No, not me.
Somebody.
Miss Anderson, have you ever?
Around my, they will
Miss
actually
Anderson,
tell
have you
I'm
ever?
a drugger.
Have you ever experienced? Have you ever experimented with shamanistic drugs at all? LSD, peyote, things of that nature.
I'm certified in ayahuasca, but
Ayahuasca. Ooh,
ayahuasca one. Yes,
brilliant. That is brilliant.
I actually went to
brilliant.
Brazil for 4 months and studied with some
Prometheus,
people with
are you-
ayahuasca.
That's brilliant. Prometheus, are you familiar with the plant ayahuasca?
Yeah, a buddy of mine's taking quite a bit of it. It's not
From
something
what I
Oh, you
understand,
don't want to take quite a bit of it. No.
From what I understand, the chemical compounds of ayahuasca, what it does is it takes your damaged brain cells and reconnects them, rewires them into your brain, which makes your brain capacity more efficient. That's what was my research entails.
Yeah, it's the same thing as it's the same thing as if you took colloidal silver on a regular basis.
No, I have a friend that did that too, and his body turned silver in color.
That's if you drink gallons
That's
every week.
way too much. Yeah.
Hmm.
All those things must be done in moderation. And with the ayahuasca, it 100% requires a lot of counseling and a guide.
Right.
I came back from Brazil and I thought I'm going to make a shitload of money with this ayahuasca stuff. I now know how to do this. But unfortunately, I didn't pay attention to the counseling
Hello, Salem.
rules.
Hello, Salem. Marry
And
me. We have Prometheus here, and we have a wonderful guest, an iconic public figure within the pagan community, and her name is Melissa Anderson. And we have a discussion about all kinds of different areas. So if you would like to chime in, that's fine. Just know that you're dealing with some heavy hitters.
Hi, Salem. Good morning.
Well, the cat dragged you in here for a reason.
How are you today?
one of these guys said something. And Harold just check this out. Who she is.
Pretty good. Not too bad. Relaxing with a little bit of good company. This lady right here, she give me a run for my money because she likes to be argumentative.
Oh no. I'm not
He's
sure.
over there laughing in the background. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's okay, though. I love her already. I like you
Well,
too, Salem.
I get to Louisville every now and then. I go to those meetups sometimes.
Well, come on. We're gonna get it. Just
I don't go
kidding.
to Louisville Pagan Pride anymore. They're a bunch of
Nah, I come to Pikeville every once in a while. I just stop in and see you.
I don't go to the one in Lexington that was run by Abbas. Oh my God. But his band, Kentucky Vampires, was actually pretty good if he would have just minded his P's and Q's.
What would you call me then? I control Wendigos.
I don't know. I haven't heard you yet.
No.
I got 4. It's a birthright. I was born into them. I got 4 of them. Yeah. Would you like to hear a
Sam, what
story?
exactly is a Wendigo? Can somebody give the definition of a Wendigo for our viewers? So, because we were, what's the definition of a Wendigo? So a Wendigo is considered a type of astral. Is it an astral entity? Is it something that's like an elemental being from a?
What they call them.
Okay. So when you say well, they can be okay. So Wendigos are definitely a negative entity, and would you say, because I know that
No, sir.
okay, so they
are not.
I think
be
it would be a
positive.
neutral energy, wouldn't it?
They're
neutral.
positively
So Wendigos
angels.
are neutral,
I
and
would think that
also
they would be neutral.
with my research with the Rosicrucians, they have adept elders within their circles, and they travel astrally and shapeshift. Would they be considered beacons of Wendigo? And Melissa Anderson shakes her head.
I don't think so.
Wendigo.
Not in that
Won't think so.
context.
Okay. Astrally.
We drive people mad. We can body hop. Yes, that's what I was trying to tell you. We can do that. That's what I was trying to tell you a while back when I called you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your chiming in on this conversation. You were a blessing because not a lot of people heard about my kind. See, what I am as a jinn is I'm able to jump into any body that I choose, any living life system. I can come to you and be a messenger of my word through any eyes. If you want to hear from a true, you hear that frequency change? You want to hear from a real deity, I'm a son of God.
And that
this is
corresponds
what it is.
and that would correspond with the Eye of Horus, correct?
Exactly.
So the all-looking eye is what we're speaking of. The all-looking eye. And interestingly enough, sometimes these eyes are drawn in different cultures across the world. They're definitely drawn in the Egyptology scheme a lot. They're drawn on the American dollar and maybe in Masonic circles. I see them. The all-looking eye. Okay, so when you don't think that they're watching, they are watching. When you think there's no viewers, they are. They're viewers.
See, he thinks it's funny. Check this out.
I'm not behind it, but I'm listening.
Check this out, though. That thing that you keep seeing off in the mountains back there, the big, tall, white things that you see linking around. You think I don't know what you see?
Who's he talking to?
I don't know who you're talking to from Atheist.
It's almost like the Predator, or like maybe flashing lights.
Who are you talking to?
Young man, that's okay. We'll come back to that.
You man.
Well, you ain't that old, bro. What are you, 32?
Yep.
Oh,
I see
dude.
them. There they
You
are.
see things? You see dead people?
I didn't say dead people. So you know when you hear those frequency changes, those are entities. Whenever
Okay,
you smell sulfur, When you smell sulfur, that is when my Wendigos are present.
Well, that's the thing for me. I've never really heard Wendigos. I may have heard them in different forms because I know that there's different names for the same
I have an
thing.
anchor, and I actually wrote a book on supernatural creatures.
Did you?
I'm glad you didn't write about
And
me.
And Wendigo.
There's a lot of definition of
And,
Wendigo in there, particularly in the South
A
America.
Wendigo. A Wendigo is
It is,
actually,
so-
they call it,
It goes
So that
into
was part of your literature.
cryptoid, and it's not actually-
I'm
I
sorry,
don't
what did
think
you say?
it's metaphysical. It's cryptoid. It's not actually metaphysical. It's a cryptoid type creature.
And what would
Suckers
you describe this?
blood.
What did you describe that as?
The first ones were described as hairy beast, man-like creatures who sucked sheep's blood.
That would be a La Chupacabra description.
Chupacabras, Wendigos, they're
Yeah,
of the
based
same
on the
cryptoid family.
Oh, chupacabras would be
So-
considered corresponding with a Wendigo. Okay. See, I knew that they had different names.
So this is the way it works. It looks like Beelzebub. It looks like rotting flesh with the skull of a steer with
I'm not too much
antlers.
hip on cryptoids because they fall into a different category.
So they're
and that's,
bloody hell.
it's
They're,
got antlers.
they're a
Uh-huh.
hellhound.
Hellhounds. Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking hellhound. I gotta keep them away from me.
Yeah, to the Christian, they would be hellhounds probably.
Right. Right.
And they
So I gotta get a
have
chain and get me one of them.
Every single time.
The
I was in
Hades with a
distress.
Rottweiler, I want a Wendigo for a pet.
When I was given my first one, I cried.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Interesting.
It's a rite of passage where I'm from, in the mountains of Virgie.
There's some strange things that happens down that way. Virgie, south of us.
Oh, down next to the paint.
Yeah.
There is.
That's where he comes from. He's living in Louisville now. How do you like Louisville?
It's okay. I've been all around the world. It's all right. I've helped a lot of people.
I like to
Helps a
travel
lot.
too.
I don't really get my rocks off traveling anymore. I like to see people conquer their own inner demons.
Nah.
You know,
Sometimes humans have a purpose, and I try not to interfere with that stuff.
well, that's the thing, is if people are focused on a person, whew, that's a big one. If our kind is upset with somebody, you know, if
But
our
see,
kind
now,
is upset with,
that's where I have this thing about self-responsibility too. You can be upset with someone. That's your emotion. That's not theirs. That's your emotion. That's what you have to deal with. If you're upset with someone, you can't say, "Oh, I'm upset, so it's my problem." It's their problem, not the person you're upset with. So you actually have to look inside and find out, well, why you're upset. They've done something. They did it, not you.
I agree 110%. But
We
people
need
just
to
don't
reflect,
understand that.
just deflect that shit and walk on in life. That's what we all have to do when it comes to that. Each
So many
person walks their
people-
own path. If they stumble and fall, we can only pray that they've learned something from that fall. And be
So
there
it'd be
to
true
cheer them
to
up
learn-
if they don't.
So there is definitely truth in the axiom that to learn, we must first learn to suffer.
That's right. We can't. If we don't make mistakes, how do we learn anything? If we're perfect, what would give us any incentive to go anywhere? None of us are perfect. Hell, I make 20 mistakes a day, but I try to learn from them and not repeat that same thing. Because remember, the definition of insanity is exactly that, taking the same path, expecting different results. You can't do that. The
Right.
same path leads
Right.
to the same destination.
Right.
We have to change those things up. And if we can't change them up, then we will walk that cycle. But how is that on me? If I'm walking that cycle, I'm the one who has to choose to jump out of that cycle. If someone else is doing it, I may attempt to point them in a right direction, but that's the right direction for me. Even to attempt that is possibly the wrong thing to do, because I'm trying to tell them how to walk my path. It's my path, not theirs. You talked about gatekeepers in a post I read.
Yeah.
There are no
yeah.
gatekeepers.
In
There
fact,
are
you
no
are the gatekeeper. You are
The
the gatekeeper,
information
correct?
is there. It is up to you to discover it.
There we go. Right. So it's
The
Well,
within.
we are
always
gatekeepers
there.
of what we release and when we release it. Some people aren't meant to have all the answers right in front of them.
And they won't ever have it. And that's why I'm saying that there are no gatekeepers. Hermes Trismegistus.
Trismegistus.
Yes, as you already know.
There
He
it is.
said the keys are
Mercury.
there. It's up for you to open the temple. And it is.
We were just talking about that, weren't we, Prometheus? We were just talking about that. The Mercury, the current of Mercury. And I think it's a hermaphrodite current.
Well, the universe is hermetically sealed in data.
Yep.
If there is one, there is essentially the solution for all equation.
Mhm.
But you have to check your work in a mathematical equation in a supercomputer of consciousness. And that could be a form of what we're doing on a microcosm.
I think we
Nobody
are.
really knows. What's that?
I think we are checking all the data and trying to find that part of enlightenment that we do not have.
Well,
Or even if it's enlightenment, that word also kind of bumfucks my head.
Okay, I'm back.
The enlightenment
Excellent.
theories and
Yellow's shaking up. You all right?
oh man,
You're a little shaking up. You all right?
oh no, those things kind of. I don't think that that's meant for us to really understand at this point of our evolution.
Do you know what a shareholder is?
In what context? Shareholder.
Yeah, exactly. And what concept? What concept?
When I turned 33, 34, my dad said, "Here's your crown, here's your throne. Hate to be you, mother babe." And he wrote me a note. And he told me that I was an intricate part of society. And I was a creator. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm more special than anyone. One thing that people have to understand is we are all creators for the next person. The tetragrammaton would be what steers consciousness based on their genetic encoding, their niches, their interests, their past data that algorithms push new data and content into their conscious awareness. But somebody has to create the data in order for the tetragrammaton to put that data in front of somebody. It has to have some content and media to direct conscious individuals to. And without new content, it has no content to show them.
But we discover new content every day from the old content. So therefore, there's always some new content as long as we progress forward.
Well, there's also spiritual information that's being downloaded into us all the time, especially when we sleep.
From what? From the
elders
Akashic
are
Records.
wanting us to wake up.
Spiritual information
What about the
coming from the
guy?
Akashic Records, or is it come from the astral? Does it come down
But
from
Jesus said-
what do they call it? The Sephra Yesod? Does it come down from that? Can you acquire it from a dream state, a hypnotic state,
Yes, you
a
can.
trance, a
Yes,
meditation,
you can.
or
Yes, you can. I
Okay,
believe
so I
that
have
they do
an
it the
interesting
most
question there.
while you're asleep.
I have an interesting question about that's personal that I won't get in detail too much about. But what would be a good remedy for, let's say, a cultic or mystic or somebody of the caliber that's on here to eliminate nightmares?
Ooh,
How do you eliminate nightmares?
Can I go first?
Is the Native American yeah, absolutely.
Go right
Is the
ahead.
Native American dream catcher adequate to trap bad dreams? And do they have to be constant? Go ahead, shoot.
I have my own theories about that, but I'll let you go first.
I always talk over people. It's a habit from childhood. Dream catchers. I really don't know. I'm dream catchers.
What do you think, dream catchers? Well, I have
That's
something
just
that worked for me. When I was very young, I've had nightmares and night tremors a lot of times from childhood abuse. And so what I would do is I would take a CD, put it in my CD player, pick a certain song I liked, and I would have that playing all night long so that when I woke up, I'd hear the song and calm me down and go back to sleep. But there is also another way. If you confront what's in your nightmare, basically, I still have nightmares sometimes where somebody's chasing me or someone's hitting me down or, trying to attack me. I have not been able to fight them back while still in the dream, but I have been able to get out of the dream and then wake up just enough, go back into the dream, and then defeat them. So I believe that if you have something in your nightmare that is attacking you, or I believe that it is one of those beings on, the higher realms. We're in their territory, and they find their ways in our dreams. I believe that you can defeat them if you know how to go back into your dreams. You can defeat them. Eventually, it will stop.
What about you, hon? Do you have any ideas about that?
I don't really I control my dreams usually.
Well, I like that.
I use my sleep time to commune with my ancestral spirits. So before I go to sleep, I basically am already starting my little communion. And it
Tell you
follows
my opinion.
until I wake.
I like that. So you just rest in relaxation.
Yes.
Harold, do you have any idea about how to stop nightmares?
Yeah, sure. I'll get to that right after I say one thing. I want to say I just had a comment on our post that Cloud the Pagan Rapper just said, I don't mess with Melissa Anderson. I've learned the hard way. I think that's what he just said. Just wanted to say that.
I'm not diving in because I know better.
No.
But I just
love
did
Cloud.
ask. Yeah, he's a riot. But I am
CD.
I am trying to ask him if he wants to join the conversation. I haven't had a chance to.
But I will tell you this. This is my opinion on dreams, though. What I was told is it's kind of like starting up a vehicle that's been sitting in the yard for a while. You have to get the fuel lines running every once in a while to keep it going. And with a reduced fight or flight mechanism for a human being this day and age, our psyche has to undergo so much scarce situations. We have to undergo those different imbalance chemicals in our brain. That way we can stay functioning in those high stress situations. This is how a superhuman situation can come about, is if we didn't have those moments of nightmares, night terrors, then our brains would not be able to function in those high stress situations, like I said. But this keeps us able to do such things.
It is. It's part of the fight and flight. Yeah, it sure is.
It's a part of the training as well.
to keep us going properly since we live in such peace
It's all part of the training.
compared to what we used to live.
Oh yes, we have. Being a little older than all of you, I've seen the changes in our society.
I think a lot of times when we are in the sixth dimensional awareness, we're going to probably have them more often because they know that we know how to astral travel. We know how to astral project. We know how to send our spirit different places. And sometimes I think if, with me, I'm not always sure where my spirit's going all the time. We end up in that vibrational field where they exist, where the Orions exist.
What's that gentleman's name that's in the background right there?
Who? Him?
Yes.
Dean.
Dean.
Yep.
Hey, Dean.
Hello.
How you doing today?
I'm hanging in there.
How's that dark overlay of
Yeah,
reality?
cheers, Dean. Cheers. You with a good. I don't know what situation is, but how much to the people that you associate with, good people.
What's that?
I said homage to the people that he associates himself with. That's all, because he's with good people. I don't know his situation. That's what I was saying.
Why don't you chime in, dude? You're sitting over there in the corner on your phone. Come on.
I was trying to start a topic with you.
I was trying to network I was trying to network and ask Cloud the Pagan Rapper if he wanted to participate. Actually, that's what I was trying to do, because he's always.
I know you know something.
I've never.
You gotta know something over there.
What'd he
Well, they
say?
do tell
He
you
ain't
to-
coming in?
Well, I'm
Dean.
looking right now. So he's typing right now. The bubbles are going, and it's not. Yeah, so go ahead and tell him that if he requests it, I can add him. But I haven't figured out the technology to. I don't want to leave the platform because I don't want to eliminate the program itself, because I'm a rookie when it comes to online streaming. I tried to do the Zoom account, but it just didn't fare. I just did this.
Hey,
one here.
Dean.
But to answer to Salem quickly, one thing that I've learned throughout different texts throughout the years is that it's good to speak ye little and listen much. Is I think the axiom that they used to say, and it's old school. It has a lot of Wiccan flavoring to it, but it's just it's just the independent Llewellyn rhetoric that I'm used to and that I've been trained by, and that's what I go by. Unless I hear better rhetoric, that's the stuff that I'm going to use.
I must
love
have heard
to talk.
the same rhetoric because I'm learning a lot just by listening.
Absolutely.
Right.
I love to see how right I am, just to question myself. It's good to be wrong.
Yeah, but my phone shit the bed. My phone shit the bed. Yeah, if you want to give Rich Donahue a shout out, Melissa, and ask him to join up. I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, I'd love to hear what I would be honored to have him and you in the same room and Prometheus and it's just great for the. It's just great. It's great. It's good for the premiere of this particular broadcast because Prometheus and I are going.
I'm gonna give Dean a real quick. That's man, I got a killer lag on this. I don't know if it's Spectrum or what.
Oh, you're coming up fine on this end. But to answer Salem's questions, I personally don't have nightmares. I do a simple banishment ritual from the Golden Dawn. I guess the adepts or the mediocre practitioners know what it is already. I'm not going to rehash it, but I do it frequently, and that pretty much banishes me from torture, from all these astral nasties that we were talking about, like Wendigo spirits or Klingons or succubus, incubus, or whatever the hell we're talking about. I mean, often I see astral trash. Often I'll see astral trash from the ritual. Often I'll see spirals in the sky. You can call them elemental spirits of sulfies or whatever you want. I mean, I have no idea. Melissa Anderson, what is going on in your end? What is so intriguing? I must know. He did message me, but I phoned
Yeah,
up.
he says he's under the weather and not feeling very peoply right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's watching. He's watching, he said.
Oh, I see. Oh, awesome.
I have
Terrific.
enjoyed watching.
But Rich Donahue is a great soul, great spirit. Lifted me up. He was there for me when I come out of my dungeon, and I have nothing but homage for the guy. And he keeps it real. When I do something stupid, he puts me in check. He's not scared to do it, and I can't do nothing but love what he does. And we come from similar paths. And he's out there in New Jersey, kid. You know what I'm saying? But quick story: my wife and I rescued a bearded dragon from New Jersey in a Dominican neighborhood. Yeah, he's out there in New Jersey.
It's kind of funny you
But,
say
he's-
that. I
he's-
rescued a
Adorable.
bearded dragon from Florida City.
I want a bearded dragon.
That's weird.
Oh,
I'm not New Jersey either.
Shit, you're not. It was with a milk snake. I think I'm messing with you, right?
No.
No, yeah. Seriously.
For
No,
the
I mean, I
for the
really-
comedic, for the true comedic, we never leave the house without our cobras. We always
That's right. Oh,
Okay. It's like
like
a
that.
that's a
we
relic.
always
That's a
have our cobras.
type of relic. I assume. I'm not versed in. You said kinetic or comedic? Oh, okay, that's the Egyptology current. That's the Egyptology current. The closest I come to the Egyptology is I'll say it, to hell with it. A ritual called the lesser banishing ritual of the hexagram. That's the closest I come with the Egyptology, where we talk
From
about
the silver
Apocrypha,
fountain.
the
I have my own banishing
IAO
spells.
formula. The formula of IAO, that formula, Isis, Apophis,
Okay.
Osiris, is the closest I get with Egyptology. It's a good current, and I do like some of the Egyptian banishment rituals. But what I have found through reading is that a lot of them were lost in the abyss, and they have been reconstructed by different occultists in the last century and pieced together accordingly. So it has a lot of mystery and because of that factor, you have a lot
Actually,
of occultists.
there are a lot of the scrolls that are being translated right now that have
That's
a great deal of
interesting,
those stuff. There's
And I'm sure
probably
you have a part
6,000
of
of the museum that have never been looked at.
Right, and I'm sure you got your hands in that. I'm sure you do, and
I do have
that's
my
very
hands in there.
intriguing and interesting. And I'm sure you do, and I'm not gonna. I got the chills thinking about it, and that's all well and
I
fine.
have a little guy that's in the basement of the British Museum sending me those translations as soon as they get them for my new Egyptian magic.
That's great. That's great. Speaking of the British Museum, that's where they hold the old Enochian transcripts. They have a bunch there too. Oh yeah, I like them a lot. Sometimes I can find some of the old Enochian transcripts online, and those are interesting too. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, Rabbi. Well, so there you go. You got me talking.
There's one
There
thing
you
that
go.
I've come to realize, man, is no matter if it's the God in you that's doing the, I guess, carrying the sword, or if it's a higher deity we put in responsibility. If we put that sword to use without a just cause, our life reflects it tenfold.
Yes, it does.
And
And when we decide that just cause, we also must look, who do we serve? Are we serving ourselves? Are we serving those deities we claim to worship? And if we don't smack our asses all the time to make sure we're not just serving ourselves, then we're going to fuck up bad.
Mr. Anderson, I've always thought that in terms of deity, we work with
I'm a
deity,
shareholder
not
for
necessarily worshiping them. Is that correct, or that's not true? Because I've always fathomed that we work with deity and not worship them.
For me, I am a servant of theirs. They are not a servant of mine. They say jump and I say ha ha.
Right.
I say jump and they say ha ha. They say jump and I say
So
ha
in
ha.
essence,
Yeah.
so in essence,
It's a dog on a
you're a
dog's
daughter
nose,
of
is how my
these.
dad.
You're a daughter of these deities. You're a daughter of these deities.
Well, actually, the title they gave me back about 30 years ago was the Hamat Nutjuri Ma'at, which would mean the vessel of Ma'at. So I'm supposed to be that vessel which she can come to any desire. It's never happened.
Who is the star man to you?
I don't know.
He comes to me often.
The
But you were
Starman.
talking about this all-seeing
His
eye.
name, his name is who?
Who's on first? No.
I
Man
have
on
a
the
You were
horse.
question.
you were talking about these eyes. Were you
Right.
talking about the eye of Ra or the eye of Horus? Which one?
There we go.
Well,
There's two different ones. Are they one of
the
the
eye
same?
of consciousness. Everything is conscious, and everything has its own perception. Hey, James, how's it going, James?
What's up, bro? What's up?
Well, actually, this would be a good guy here to ask from. This is a newly initiate of my little sect, I guess you can say. James, this is like a little bit of a meeting. It's getting recorded. This is some really high-profile people here too. Really good people.
I have a question.
Okay.
One of my
Salem, shoot.
deities is Inky, and understanding the Gnostic mysteries was a very big and important shift in my level of consciousness. However, I don't see that there's too much available on Inky worship.
On the Gnostic side?
On the Gnostic mysteries, like, you know,
Yeah.
how to worship the ancient deities in modern
You need
society.
to go back to the old Israelite text and
Israelite
some
text.
things that are coming out of Ethiopia right now.
Okay.
They have a lot of the Gnostic texts.
And Quetzalcoatl also has some information if you check out
Okay.
the ancient Americans writings on.
Okay.
Quetzalcoatl is a very similar deity to what they would describe as the serpent that the Gnostics believe is, what do you call it,
Yes.
Sayoboth.
Well, Gnosticism actually comes out of Babylonia and Mesopotamia. So that would be the god I, or El.
El Shaddai. My God.
Yeah.
That was
Same thing with Christian
Christianized.
beliefs. James, you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I just left Muay Thai practice.
That's good. I'm happy. I'm proud of you.
Muay Thai. Cool.
So if you guys would, this is how majority of my interactions go in Louisville. Do you mind hearing his testimony?
No, we
Sure.
sure don't.
Go
James, do you mind telling them how we met and how your experience has been with me? New to me.
Yeah. Well, we met at a tattoo parlor. I was just getting my ears pierced, and then I was walking away from the shop, and he called me over. He was in his car, and like he was like, "Hey, are you doing MMA?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing MMA." And then he kind of just told me about my life, like my past and my future. It was just weird, like out of nowhere. And then I didn't even know who he was, but everything he said was the truth. And then I later end up like finding out everything about him. And yeah,
And so now you're initiated.
yeah, I am.
See me control conscious reality,
Yeah.
and I controlled the consciousness of how to go that night. Where it really messed up.
Wait, what was it again?
With the TV.
Oh yeah, he was even like controlling the consciousness of the TV. Like he was talking with the TV. It was strange. It's crazy. Like like I guess you can say reality, huh?
Control reality.
Yeah. It's crazy.
The programming, the words that are coming on it.
Yeah.
your own thought processes too.
Kentucky needs to develop a whole lot more from what I've gathered. I've lived here for the last 20 years now. And it needs to develop. Our pagan fields very well need to develop.
I wouldn't say that that anything should be categorized. I think a true understanding that there is more to reality and how the human mind and the mankind mind interacts with reality around us. Just the actual understanding, instead of classifying it as spiritual, because it's nothing spiritual at all. This is just gifts
It's a
that
way
was
of life.
given to me physically.
It's a way of life, really. No,
It could be.
yeah,
And it is. It really is. It's something that forces us, because I've seen a spirit come to me, and he looked like something otherworldly, and he had a stargate, looked like Atlantis. And he came to me and put a light in me in 2020 in January. And since then, I've been self-aware. I've been like this my whole life, but I've been blind to my own self. Does that ring any bells with you, hon?
no. As far as being blind to myself, no.
What about the Stargate?
Again, these things there's so many different concepts. There are so many contexts we can talk about these things in. And because there are so many contexts, you want to try to do it intellectually.
What about Toxoplasmosis gondii and the mind-controlling symbiotes that live inside of a human being?
Oh, whose theory is that? Oh, God, I just watched something.
I came up with this thought process a long fucking time ago.
There's a guy on...
Toxoplasmosis is what pregnant get when they're around cats.
Yes, man, it's a single-cell organism brought on by, it's actually a single-cell organism that forms in the light of the moon and dew.
Oh, God, who is that man that does that show?
Joe Rogan?
No, he's making a shitload of money off of this retreat that he's running out west. I just called a person and asked about him, and they said he was a loon. He does this ET stuff. Conscious talking with the gods, or who are actually aliens. Oh, what is that man's name?
Oh, Griffith.
Yeah, I think that's his name. He
There's
went
that
into the theory of the single cell amoeba and the control, and yeah, he did that.
What if I told you that is actually a single cell, that our kind in the gift that I got is anything that there is a conscious collective in that can permeate a personification. Therefore, how should I put this? If you have enough of a collective, it will create a persona.
Of course. Yeah.
Toxoplasmosis gondii, it loves us.
Enough of a collective.
And we were created to be
Yeah,
the
because we're
hosts
creative.
of the whole.
Well, you said that if you have enough collective, you're creating something, and that's precisely what you're doing when you're collectively creating an elemental to bid your will. You're collectively infusing your consciousness as an extension of your will and planting on the astral. Now, if you have that collectively with multiple people, it's gaining power and it becomes more potent. And maybe that's why the mysteries of your Wendigo is so potent, because so many people believe about them in different cultures and call them by different names, chupacabra or Wendigo, and infusing it with energy. This is why your Judaic concept of Satan has so much power, is because so many people are scared to death of the motherfucker. I'm not scared of the bastard.
Well, it's because whoever the chairholder, this is where it gets a little scary. The chairholder that controls the archons, because there's a chairholder that runs each archon. There's 7 archons.
Archons. I heard that.
They say that it's 4 principalities, 7 archons. I don't know. I don't know about all those details. I know that I control toxoplasma. That means anything that toxoplasma is in, I can see. That's just what the spirit told me. And James, let me ask you something, bro. How many times have I seen something that nobody else on this earth could have ever seen? Just in the short period we've known each other.
A lot. Like you can do some crazy things, man. Like plenty of times. Like I didn't seen it all. It's crazy. I don't know.
So it's not so much about being able to control a human being, but if you can interact and control the symbiotes that live inside of that human being and control its brain waves, it
Yeah.
seems like you have a little bit more control over the human beings than actual control of the human being, though, wouldn't you?
Why would we want it?
That's the question. My mom said that I'm a shepherd of El Shaddai.
A shepherd doesn't control the mind of the sheep. A shepherd directs the sheep. So why would we want to control the mind or the consciousness of another?
It's kind of like being a trickster. I correspond with thoughts that I put in their mind.
I can understand that.
You know what I can do then,
So
right?
would a
With God
shepherd
in.
domesticate the herd?
I like this lady.
But
She already knows.
But the shepherd isn't the trickster.
No.
The shepherd's the guide.
Shepherd's the guide.
Right, the guide.
I'm more of the shepherd that's oogly boogly, get back to the narrow road.
Yes, I'm more the shepherd that says, do as you will. And if you fuck up, learn from it.
Yeah, but I'm the one that comes in right before death usually.
I have a concept. Something to pick your brain about. Now, in the context of the different types of alien beings that are out there, and one being the
Everybody's alien.
Lyrans. The Lyrans are said to be the cat people and the bird people, which I think dragons would fall under that. But it kind of brings me back to the YouTube videos that talk about cats were very much part of the spiritual belief system in Egypt. Cats were highly revered and often were sacrificed in rituals and all that.
Now that
Well,
depends on the
I
temple.
kind of thought about this. When you're talking about toxoplasmosis that we know comes from cats, could it be a connection to the Lyrans and the original deities where possibly the cats came from? Maybe the Lyrans were the ones that brought the cats.
What's that?
My mind is open enough to accept those.
And I'm wondering if toxoplasmosis hit certain people that maybe don't have the Lyran starseed in them. I've noticed that some people could get toxoplasmosis, but not everyone gets toxoplasmosis. Not every pregnant woman that's around cats will even get it, but only a small percentage of people get it.
I have a huge insight on this. The Homo erectus, O negative blood type is my blood type. I'm O negative Rh null. So I'm like the bloodline of Christ. I'm a host of the holy. So toxoplasma is the most abundant single cell organism in the universe. It is in 92% of all living systems in the world. This is the spirit essentially that creates the phoenix and the peacock. But it's the spiritual flame and the love bug. It creates a house, it creates a master, a pet, love, it creates a dietary system, all by infecting all of these systems, and it creates it by sacrificing its host to those different aspects. So it's the one that teaches us what love is. My dad calls it the love bug. But this is where the spirit of the eagle, the phoenix, all these different spirit animals comes from, is the archons in their metaphysical form.
Lyrans.
Somehow or some way are connected to those things.
Yeah, I don't know. There's too many concepts going on at one time.
Sorry.
My mind's not working. Yeah.
Well,
And there's too many different contextual things that.
She gets what I'm
the
saying.
alien races are the Arcturians, the
I don't believe
Pleiadians,
so.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Draconans, the Orions.
Yeah. I know
the
I
Lyrans.
know several people that went down that rabbit hole, and
Yeah.
This is what I know. I know there's Homo
if
erectus.
that's how they
and there's
believe,
Homo sapiens.
great.
That's
I
it.
just don't have the
I
opinion.
believe in the aliens because I can't understand how we could just suddenly appear out of nowhere and there's no other planet with life.
But then we look at the various concepts of
There's
creation.
no way that we
Everything
just
around us is life.
poof and we just
This
appear.
planet's alive.
But look at the concepts of creations of the myths of the various cultures. And now, what about them?
You didn't say what I thought you would.
I think that everybody
Finding that hard.
migrated from somewhere else because the starseed theory makes sense to me. It
What's the
resonates with
starseed?
me.
What's the starseed theory to you?
The starseed, basically the fact that we all came from different alien races and that they brought us here and formed a civilization. Now, the concept of Inky and Enlil, the story is that Enlil wanted us just to be his slave race to mine gold and then wanted to destroy us. Where Inky was the savior in this situation is that he went behind Enlil's back and was manipulating the gene code so that we could procreate.
Now we're talking Babylonian myths at this point.
That's Assyrian, Babylonian,
Babylonian,
Sumerian,
Assyrian,
Egyptian tablets. It goes as far back as they can possibly go
Yeah.
up to this point.
Right there. But before you
My
move on,
theory on this, the alien thing is basically, how could I be so stupid to assume that this planet is the only one over billions of
Right.
years?
Exactly.
So I don't.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I can't subscribe to anything, and I can't deny anything.
Yeah.
When they land, then we can say, yeah, we knew that.
I've seen a UFO.
let me ask you something.
I've seen a UFO before.
Do they have an impact in your everyday life?
Do they, as in who?
Daily.
Not daily, but I have had communications with them before through astral travel. They have communicated to me.
Did you know that there's a multitude of spirits that jump into a human body
Mm-hmm.
infinite times a day?
We call them shook.
Shook.
Mm-hmm. But the
Don't
problem
have
is
singular
they cannot
souls.
jump into anyone with the ankh. And I'm not talking about the symbol, I'm talking about the three parts of the Egyptian soul.
Well, the
The
soul
body
isn't
of
just
the
one soul anyway. It's a collective. Just like how
It
any
is a
body
collective.
is.
Just as a
composed
part
out
of the
of
body.
Okay, what she's talking about, you just lost me there. Could you maybe elaborate a little bit on that?
For Hermeticism, you have three parts of the soul, the Ba, the Ka, and the Ankh. And those parts can go in multitudes of directions, back to what we consider the creative force, the universe, the nude. So if we
Okay.
consider the nude, that puddle of water that we all come out of, or the giant universe that the aliens came down from, I don't think that I'm wise enough to really determine which is which. So based on the concept of creation, that soul is divided into three parts. Some people develop Ba and Ka and never develop the Ankh. The Ankh is that which is connected straight to the nude. Those that have the Ankh can never become possessed. They are tethered to creation itself. That's the Egyptian way of thinking. And of course, the
Okay.
5 parts of the body, it's very complicated as you go through the various kingdoms. You've got lower,
They
you've got
can, but the only thing that can possess them is the creator.
Go ahead.
Does that resonate with the chakra points at all? Can that resonate with the chakra points?
Oh, it does, but the chakra points in
It does.
Egypt are 12.
There are 12 of them, right? Because they're on your hands, your feet, and your
Yeah,
nerve endings.
it
Right.
resonates more with the Kabbalic tree, the Kabbalah tree of life.
Okay, yeah, 12. 12.
Yeah.
12 Sephra, right.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting
I love
night, and I really
conversations like this.
appreciate everybody's participation in things. And it was an honor to have my colleague in mischief, Prometheus. It was an honor to have Melissa Anderson here. Salem, thank you for showing up, and also one of Prometheus' students. It was great to hear your path of your beginning stages of the great work, as a lot of occultists say, the great work. I think that's something that we can all kind of relate with, and we're definitely going to be broadcasting something similar. The name might change, the place might change, the rhetoric, the platform, but we will always be in touch and binded in the circle of like attracts like. And to be honest, I love you all, and you really helped me out tonight more than you know, because we all have our own personal problems and endeavors to conquer in every light. And so it was an honor. But with that said, it's been a few hours, maybe an hour and a half, so I am going to end the broadcast.
Wow.
And this broadcast has been concluded, and I wish you all well. And I would like to give a special thank you for Melissa Anderson for reaching out to the little guy in the pagan community. It was an honor to have you here, and a great premiere for Prometheus and I's brand new platform. So with that being said, I would like to say blessed be to all of you.
Thanks.
Good luck with
Blessed
it,
be.
Harold.
Quick question. One thing I got to close with. Did everybody get
Okay.
anything from this? Did anybody have anything?
I did.
Yeah, did you?
Absolutely.
I got some new stuff to research now.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, that's all it's about.
Absolutely. That's-
Also, nobody told me you was a serpent queen, damn it. Ugh.
I probably am a lot more than you know.
Likewise.
Oh yeah.
Likewise. I can't wait. And hopefully I
Shrouded
can
in
get you to
mystery,
do
she
this
is.
with this every week. Would that be okay?
Do what now?
Would it be too much to ask you to fill in? This
Huh?
Would
Fill
you do
in?
this on a regular basis?
No.
It's like I'm not arguing with your young ass.
I told you it was a great premiere. You're not
I'm
gonna get that.
obnoxious. It's okay.
She is-
I basically came to watch Harold do his show.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, I'll
I
tell you
love
what.
Harold, and I want him to succeed in everything he does.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And in
thanks.
private, actually, I'd like to give you a reading just with me and you, because obviously there were some things I wanted to touch bases with you on in private, if you wouldn't mind. If you get bored, give me a call. I do have a
no
message
problem. Yeah. So y'all have fun.
too.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Yes.
Marrying part.